Scammers are getting more high-tech. There were previous warnings about card skimmers and how to look for them, but now banks and law enforcement are fighting another piece of scam technology called a shimmer. Shimmers are thin pieces of metal inserted into an ATM or a machine at a point of payment. They're smaller than ever and almost impossible to detect from looking at a machine from the outside. The newer scamming devices are almost impossible to detect from the outside, and the whole setup took just over a minute. Criminals print out new fake debit cards and use people's information to withdraw cash. The crime is very sophisticated. With the newer technology, of course, the components can be smaller and smaller, said network intrusion forensic analyst with the U.S. Secret Service, Chris Hansen. Hansen said he was not aware of this case, but was working on helping local law enforcement with other cases involving shimmers. While shimmers first started cropping up a decade ago, the tech has now become much more advanced. Hansen said, typically criminals use that same method of operation, harvest the stolen data, print out fake debit cards, and go on a shopping spree at ATMs. Often, it's groups of people working together. This is what we call white plastic, Hansen said, showing a stack of white plastic cards, completely blank except for a magnetic stripe. You can encode the data onto this stripe. As for that pinhole camera, criminals go so far as to hide the tiny camera onto a plastic panel that fits perfectly onto the ATM. The panel also has a microchip on it where the recorded data was being stored, along with a tiny battery. Bottom line, the shimmers are much more difficult to spot than the bulky overlay skimmers. Skimmers are installed on the outside of an ATM or payment machine. Criminals are still using them, but customers can pull on the device to see if it comes loose or feel for mushy buttons. Protecting yourself is a little harder with shimmers, but there are plenty of ways to beat the thieves. When withdrawing cash, go inside a bank or financial institution. Indoor ATMs are closer to bank employees. There are more cameras inside the building and are much less likely to be targeted by criminals. Carefully inspect an ATM before using. You won't be able to spot a shimmer inside the machine, but the plastic panel hiding a pinhole camera might be jutting out or have an uneven seam from a quick glue job. Always cover your PIN number. Even though it seems rudimentary, even the sophisticated shimmer scammers still use a camera to capture PIN number data. Closely covering your hand when punching in your PIN number can prevent thieves from stealing that piece of data. Set up text alerts for your debit credit card. Use the digital wallet on your phone to pay. This option avoids using your card altogether. It is very important for customers to be proactive in protecting themselves, and that people need to arm themselves with some new defenses against these shimmers.